Time now to ask the biggest questions from the AFC North, and trust me, there are plenty. Only one team has the same head coach it did last year, and the Browns broke our brains this week by trading away Myles Garrett. So yeah, lots of questions coming out of this division. So let's introduce some guys who are asking those questions, and I'll be asking questions as well. So that's just the theme of the segment here. Ryan Wilson and John Breach here with us. And Ryan, I'll start with you, and we'll start with the division champs, Steelers, the site of the Aaron Rodgers retirement tour, not to mention a new head coach. What are your biggest questions for the Steelers?
Hey, Emily. Hey, John. Good to see you. I always giggle when you say defending AFC North champs Pittsburgh Steelers because, let's be honest, that team sort of fell backwards in it for a number of reasons. But you also talked about Myles Garrett, which automatically improves the question I have, which is the offensive line good enough in Pittsburgh to protect Aaron Rodgers, who, as you noted, came back for one more go-round with his buddy Mike McCarthy? And even without Myles Garrett, there are questions. Isaac Seumalo moved on from Pittsburgh. He's now in Arizona. Troy Fautanu may have to move from right tackle to left tackle. If not, maybe Dylan Cook, the undrafted free agent who had to play late last year, he has to play left tackle. He availed himself pretty well, but I don't know if that's what you want with your 42-year-old quarterback. Now, the playmakers around Aaron Rodgers in this offensive line are maybe among the best in the AFC North, which is kind of funny to say given how bad the wide receiver room was a year ago. But that's going to be the big question because Aaron Rodgers is a lot of things, and one of those things, Breach, is grumpy when he feels like he's getting hit a lot and can't do the things he likes to do.
Yes, that is absolutely right, Ryan. And my question kind of relates to your question. You were talking about the offensive line. My question is, what is this offense going to look like under Mike McCarthy? Now, we know that obviously Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy spent a lot of time together in Green Bay. And this feels like a situation where you have the divorce and then 8 years later you're thinking, yeah, you know what, maybe we should have just stayed together because nothing has really worked out for either one of us since then. So now here they are, probably Aaron Rodgers' last dance, trying to win a Super Bowl. And when you look at this Steelers offense, there's so many new elements to it, not just what Wilson's talking about, the offensive line. When Rodgers was throwing the ball last year, it was DK Metcalf or no one at receiver. But now you have Michael Pittman. Now you have Jeremy Bernard, who they just drafted. You look in the backfield, they added Rico Dowdle, who has gone over 1,000 yards in 2 straight seasons for 2 different teams. So he has made an instant impact in year 1 with multiple organizations. And then you look at what Mike McCarthy has done since leaving Green Bay. You look at his last 4 seasons in Dallas. The Cowboys ranked in the top 4 in points scored in 3 of those 4 seasons. So this feels like a situation where the Steelers offense could be surprisingly good. We know that Aaron Rodgers has a quick trigger. He's also able to process football faster than almost any quarterback. And when you have receivers to throw to, you can utilize those 2 talents more. So I think the Steelers could be surprisingly good on offense this year.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Glad to see those 2 back together. Just the 4th head coach for the Steelers since 1969, which is crazy. And speaking of new head coaches in the division, the Ravens, they got one too. They still have their MVP at quarterback, though. So, Breach, what questions do you have for Baltimore?
Now, let's take a look at the secondary here, fellas. Veteran cornerback Rasul Douglas remains available despite a productive season in Miami. 31 years old, led the Dolphins in passes defended last year while starting in 13 games. Wilson, what makes the most sense for Douglas?
I'm going to send them to New Orleans. They lost Alante Taylor in free agency. They have Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's a really good young player, but they do have questions at the other cornerback position where Quincy Riley is currently listed as the starter, the second-year player. I think Rasul Douglas gives you a veteran presence. He's big, he's long, he's physical. You talked about the PBUs last year, and he sort of revitalized his career a few years ago when he came back onto the scene, and he's bounced around a little bit, but he is essentially a gun for hire. You bring him in for a year, see what that defensive back room looks like, and then you go from there. But this team is poised to win the division in part because they have their quarterback and their second-year coach in Kellen Moore, but also because the NFC South is perpetually wide open. So Rasul Douglas headed down to New Orleans to help out that secondary.
Yeah, Ryan, we're on the same wavelength here because I also have Rasul Douglas going to the NFC South. Not New Orleans, though. Instead, I have him going to Tampa Bay. He already got a taste of that no state income tax thing in Miami with the Dolphins, so he's going to stay in Tampa Bay and go to the Buccaneers. I think when you look at Tampa Bay's secondary, they let Jamel Dean walk in free agency this year. They have Zion McCollum there on one side, but when you look at the other side of who's going to be that other starting cornerback. They have a couple young guys, Benjamin Morrison, Jacob Parrish. So they have guys battling for that spot, but I'm not sure they have anyone that Todd Bowles is going to be able to fully trust. So when you're in a situation like that, you bring in Rasul Douglas for 1 year. You have that veteran who can kind of teach those guys, kind of walk them through, make the secondary room better. So I think that's the kind of player you want, and I think Douglas would be a good fit in Tampa Bay.
What if Rasul Douglas to Pittsburgh is not just another cornerback rumor? What if he is the kind of veteran piece that helps turn Steelers pressure into Steelers possessions? Steelers Nation, listen. Everybody talks about the pass rush. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Heyward, and they should. That is the heartbeat of this defense. But pressure alone is not always enough. Pressure only becomes a nightmare when the secondary finishes the job. That is why Rasul Douglas is an interesting name to discuss, not as a savior, not as a miracle signing, but as a veteran corner who understands quarterbacks, reads routes, plays physical football, and knows how to attack the ball when a pass comes out late or forced. Steelers Nation, think about this for a second. When Watt screams off the edge and Highsmith closes from the other side, the quarterback's internal clock speeds up, the read gets rushed, the pocket feels smaller, the ball comes out before he really wants it to. That is when a smart corner matters. TJ Watt creates the panic. Rasul Douglas could punish the mistake. This is not just about adding a corner. This is about turning pressure into turnovers. Because in the AFC North, almost making a play is not enough. Against Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and the best teams in the AFC, you have to finish drives defensively. You have to force punts. You have to steal possessions. You have to give the offense a short field and make quarterbacks regret bad decisions. Douglas, at his best, brings that opportunistic mindset. He is not just chasing receivers. He is reading the quarterback, understanding leverage, watching route timing, and waiting for the moment to attack the football. That could matter in Pittsburgh because the Steelers already have the physical identity. They already have the pass rush. They already have the defensive culture. But if this team wants to be dangerous in January, the secondary has to punish rushed throws when the front creates chaos. I'm telling you right now, a defense changes when quarterbacks know there is no easy escape route. If Watt is coming, Highsmith is closing, Heyward is pushing the pocket, and Douglas is sitting there ready to jump the late throw, that changes everything. And this helps the offense too. Rasul Douglas would not help Pittsburgh by catching touchdowns. He would help by giving the offense more chances to breathe. That matters for Aaron Rodgers now. Rodgers should not have to carry every game like the entire season is on his shoulders. Give him field position, give him extra possessions, give him a short field after a turnover, and the game changes. And for Will Howard in the future, it matters too. A young quarterback develops better when the defense can control games, force turnovers, and keep the team out of constant shootouts. Now, let's be honest, Rasul Douglas does not fix everything by himself. Price matters, role matters, fit matters, health matters. Pittsburgh would need a clear plan, but veteran corners who can read quarterbacks and steal possessions are valuable for teams trying to win now. And in this division, weak coverage gets exposed, bad communication gets punished, soft corners get targeted. The Steelers need defensive backs with intelligence, physicality, confidence, and ball awareness. Rasul Douglas might not be the flashiest name, he might not be the youngest option, but if Pittsburgh wants a more mature, opportunistic, dangerous secondary, he belongs in the conversation. Because the Steelers do not just need pressure, they need punishment. They need takeaways. They need a defense that makes quarterbacks pay for every rushed throw. So Steelers Nation, should Pittsburgh pursue Rasul Douglas if the price, role, and fit make sense? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more Steelers news, rumors, reactions, and breakdowns.